What is up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new around these parts, hello. Thank you so freaking much for clicking. I'm Anna, and on this channel we budget, plan, and love us some sticky paper, friends. In today's video, I am back with another episode of the How to Budget series. In today's video, we are talking all things cash envelopes and the cash envelope system. So I will be going through what it is, how it works, what kind of categories you should think about including, and if it's the right system for you. So I'm going to share the advantages and disadvantages, and I will tell you right out the gate, I'm not going to be here to convince you to do the cash envelope system. I'm simply here to give you the information so that you can make an informed decision about whether or not it suits you, your budgeting style, your family's needs, etc., etc. But I can definitely tell you that it has been immensely helpful for me and many others that I know, especially here on the platform that do budgeting as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with what is the cash envelope system. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a budgeting system that allows you to manage your money using cash, using physical cash and physical envelopes. And obviously you can have very decorated and themed cash envelopes, but you also just could use standard white envelopes. You guys, you don't have to do all of this. And if you want to do this, that's totally fine, but I don't want it to be a deterrent for anyone who feels like this type of stuff is inaccessible because they're already living on a tight budget as it is. So I don't want you to think, well, I don't have all this cutesy stuff and this expensive stuff, I can't do this. You don't need to have this stuff. I promise it still works without this stuff. I promise. I have it because I do like how aesthetically pleasing it is, and it does make it fun to budget, honestly. Budgeting, I like budgeting. I'm totally a budget nerd and a bit of a finance nerd, but not everyone is. For a lot of people, budgeting is mundane and boring, and they'd rather be doing about a million and one other things. So this process really helps it be fun, be more engaging, and get you to manage your money. So now that we've gone through what it is and how it kind of works, the most common question that I get is, how do you know what categories to use for cash envelopes? Do you take all of your money out in cash and then stuff your cash envelopes? So really, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you this a lot probably in this video, it's really personal preference as far as how you want to utilize your cash envelopes if you decide to utilize them at all. The way I do it is my bills do not get taken out in cash. Those stay in my account. Usually a lot of them are paid electronically, so I either go in and pay them manually or they're on auto pay. So it would be counterproductive for me. Now, some people might find that it's better to take it out for them. Again, personal preference there, but for me, it would be counterproductive for me to take that money out to then have to go and put it in later on in the month whenever that bill comes due. So what I do is I leave all of my bills. So anything that has a due date stays in my account. If it's got a due date, it stays in my account. The money that I take out are for things that don't have a due date. That's the best way I can think of telling you, that are kind of like everyday spending, things that you spend money on throughout the month pretty consistently, maybe every week, maybe every 2 weeks, but you can pretty much bet that every month you're going to be spending money on this stuff. So you might be like, Anna, how do I know what that is? Like, I'm brand new to this. I have no idea what that even is. Like, I don't know what categories I should divide that into. Let me tell you, your bank statement is going to be your best friend when you're just starting budgeting like this. So take a look at your bank statement for the last, 3 or 4 months and see, other than your bills that have due dates, what did you spend your money on throughout the month? What was it? Was it coffee runs? Was it takeout? Was it groceries? I hope it was groceries. I hope you ate. Was it, restaurants? Was it spending? Was it like clothes shopping? Was it Amazon? I mean, there's a million and one things that you can spend your money on that doesn't have a due date, right? So take a look at that, and that's going to show you your habits. It's going to show you what you kind of spend money on consistently throughout a month. And that should help inform you as far as what categories you should prioritize when it comes to your cash envelopes. So a lot of these are things that you go out to get. You know, I go to the grocery store and do my groceries. Obviously, I realize that there are apps out there where you don't need to do that. And if that's what you use, that's totally fine. But that kind of helps me also think about categories like places that I'm going to go to where I'll spend money. Like I'm going to physically go to, not bill dues. Places I'm going to go to and spend money. So I think of the grocery store, I think of the nail salon, I think of the hair salon, I think of stickers. Stickers are a big part of my life, y'all. A really big part. A really, really big part. As you can see, these are all stickers. So sticker spending, what else? I'm trying to think. Gas for your car, right? Those are things you go out and get. So think of things that you go out and get throughout the month that you want to prioritize. I'm not even going to say that you need. Of course, you want to take care of your needs first, right? So you need to eat. If you have a car and that's what you use as your primary means of transportation, you need to make sure you have, gas money, things like that. But I'm going to say anything that you prioritize spending, because for a lot of people, for example, you guys can see I have a beauty cash envelope. There are people that don't need that. That's not something they prioritize, and that's totally fine. That's completely okay. Whereas someone else might have a coffee envelope. I drink most of my coffee at home, so that's not something that I prioritize, but maybe that's something that you prioritize. That's okay if it fits into your budget. Make sure that you prioritize those things. Take a look at your bank statements and see where are you spending money kind of every day, not necessarily every day, but very consistently throughout the month. And that should inform you what your cash envelope should be. And I tend to, like I said, do things where I need to go somewhere to spend the money. I need to go and get gas. I need to go and get groceries. I need to go to the nail salon, et cetera, et cetera. That helps me kind of figure it out, because that means I'm going to take it with me when I'm going. As opposed to spending money online, where most of that money will sit in my account. So for the longest time frame, for example, my spending category has actually been cashless. So it's been a digital category, because most of my spending happens really online when it comes to stickers or takeout. I have y'all, this is not really vital information, but y'all, like Uber Eats is a problem. It's a problem. But that's okay. We're not here to talk about me. But because of that, I keep that digital, even though it's under cash envelopes, it's really a digital category. But because it doesn't have a due date, like a lot of my bills and expenses do on this side, I decided to leave it in the cash envelope side and just call it a digital cash envelope. Play around with the categories as far as the amounts. Same, refer to your bank statement and get an average of what you've spent the last 3 months in groceries, for example, and start there. If you need to fluctuate the next month, that's okay. That's fine. Usually my rule of thumb, pro tip, y'all, I tend to overestimate a bit. So if you think, I spend like $300 on groceries a month or something, I would overestimate that and maybe put $325 in or $350 if you think that can fit in your budget, comfortably. Obviously, you don't want to stretch your budget and make yourself uncomfortable, but if you think that'd be able to fit comfortably in your budget, it's better for you to overestimate and have money left over at the end of the month than, of course, to underestimate and find yourself running out of grocery money, for example, at the end of the month. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the common categories within cash envelopes that I've seen that hopefully will get you guys thinking about some of the categories you want to include in your budget if you decide to do the cash envelope system. So groceries and food is probably the most common cash envelope that I've seen just about everyone use, because we all gotta eat. We all gotta eat. Another common one I see is gasoline. Many of us, our primary means of transportation is a car, and if that's the case, it needs gas to run. So gas is another really common cash envelope category that I see. Spending is also pretty common. Sometimes it's called spending, sometimes it's called personal, sometimes it's called fun, but essentially it is money that you have for you to spend on what you want, a little bit of money for you to have fun with. You may want to add a cash envelope category for your kids. So if there's activities or if you do allowance or things like that, you might want to consider that. That's pretty consistent throughout the month usually, right? Like your kids ain't going nowhere. You're going to go to sleep and wake up and they still going to be there, sis. bruh, just saying. So that might be something you want to account for, right? If, I've seen coffee categories. If listen, if you need to go through that Starbucks drive-through a few times a week, if you need to go through that Dunkin' drive-through a few times a week and it fits within your budget and you want to prioritize that, that's okay. As long as you're not paying a bill, as long as you're not sacrificing a bill to do that all the time, that's okay. If you want to enjoy that a couple times a week, that's fine. Prioritize that if that's what you need to get some joy. I'm of the mindset, again, that you need to enjoy life too. Within reason. Within reason is the key word there, y'all. Within reason. Okay, so those are some of the common categories that I see. Drop some common categories that you guys see, maybe that I didn't mention. Some of the common cash envelope categories that you guys have seen, maybe on other videos, other channels. Go ahead and drop them in the comments because I'm very interested to see, what some other cash envelope categories are. Of course, I just live kind of in my own world over here and I'm used to the ones that I have, but I know that that can change obviously based off who you're watching on YouTube or your family's needs. So now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the cash envelope system. So I'm going to start with the pro, right? Because one of the most common questions that I get is why kind of go through cash? Why not just swipe your card? It seems so much easier. You're right. You are absolutely correct. But here's what I'll say. If you find that maybe you start electronically, you don't start with cash envelopes, you start electronically, you start with swiping your card. If you find that you are overspending in areas, this cash envelope system might be worth a try because there is something tangible, right, that happens when you don't have any more money in these envelopes, right? And when there's nothing left, automatically, right? That's it. I'm tapped out, right? But when you swipe a card, there's really no tangible way for you to know, oh, I'm tapped out. Now, if you are checking your account often and if you're very aware and very intentional about your spending and you're swiping, amazing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're good. You're smooth sailing. But if you find that you're overspending in certain categories, then you might want to consider doing this so that you can have a really tangible way of knowing, okay, you're tapped out. That's it. That's it. And, I've had instances where I've used up all of my money in a category and I've had to take from another category. But it's a very conscious effort to watch myself, right? I've taken the money out of one, putting it in another. Whereas opposed to just swiping, it's kind of all there and you won't know. Unless you're checking, again, if you're checking diligently, you're fine. But if not, you won't know until either those overdraft fees hit or you realize, oh, I think I used up all the money that was supposed to be for gas on groceries. Oh no, what do I do? And then that's where you dip into savings. That's where you start to grab the credit card, the things that you want to avoid to be financially successful, really. At least avoid doing consistently or often. So that's the pro. The pro is it's a tangible way to manage your money, like a tactile know it's there kind of way to handle your money. And that really works for some people. That really is a great way to control spending for some people. For other people, it might not work, and that's fine. One of the disadvantages, which you guys probably already know, is it's not super convenient to do cash. You'll have to make trips to the bank. You'll have to carry around cash. You'll probably have to be more intentional about tracking things like receipts and things if you want to, whereas opposed to when you're swiping, you can log on and you have a list of your transactions right there that you can review. If you're doing cash, that doesn't exist. So you have to be really intentional about tracking things, about keeping receipts, and that's more work at the end of the day. It's more work and time. And some people find that that's just not worth it. They're fine just managing their money digitally for the most part. And others find that it's great, that it's really helped them curb their spending. And I know personally quite a few people, I can probably point to their channels, who have said that this has really been helpful for managing their finances and their money. So again, I give you all this information so that you can make an informed decision for what works for you, your budgeting needs, your family. Budgeting is very much personal. So don't think that the way I do it is the only way. It is not. Don't think that there's a right or wrong way. At the end of the day, a budget is for you to make sure that you know where your money is going and to manage your money effectively, make sure your bills are paid on time, and to be able to get the most bang for your buck, per se, right? Make sure that your money is doing the most that it can for you. So that is the cash envelope system in a nutshell, you guys. Let me know down below if there's something I didn't cover that you guys like really want to know. If you have burning questions that you need to know, let me know down below in the comments. If there's enough of them or enough feedback about things I didn't cover, we can do a whole nother video if we need to. Listen, I like to give the people what they want. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share it with someone you know who is starting a budgeting journey. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more how to budget and budget with me videos. I cannot wait to see what you guys are going to do this year. I think you are going to kill it, and I'm going to be cheering you on all the way. So thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all real soon. Bye.